Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We spend a lot of time at the driving range here at Glenbervie Golf Club, and what we're going to talk about is a simple tip that you can implement within your practice if you generally struggle with iron play. I think one of the first things we look at when we're struggling with iron play is a concept of how the golf club interacts with the ground. We see quite a lot of people on the lesson tee or on the golf course, when they approach each shot, they struggle sometimes to understand where the club needs to strike the ground. So the first thing we see regularly in all departments of golf when we're hitting an iron shot is the club has a loft at impact, so each club has a static loft, but what happens at impact, we get something known as a dynamic loft. So for example, my 8 iron, what's going to happen at impact is the loft is going to slightly reduce for me to create a little bit more of a compressed strike. So an easy way to explain that is hitting the golf ball first and taking a slight divot after the golf ball. But we see a lot of golfers who position the golf ball too far forward, so if you were looking at the position of the golf ball, it's pretty much located in relation to my left heel. We see quite a lot of amateur golfers on any level, they get to the top of the backswing, what tends to happen is all their body weight is behind the golf ball, so all the weight's on the right side. I want you to visualise my right shoulder here. If I transfer my weight too far behind the golf ball, then it's going to be harder for you to get more weight onto your left side in such a short period of time. So you want to stay a little bit more centred over the golf ball, so don't have the ball position too far forward. That encourages two things. It encourages the club to work up quite soon, so the leading edge, the bottom edge of the club is going to work up quite soon. If you struggle with thinning or chunking your shots, then this is maybe a contributor to one of those issues. So when that happens, ball position is too far forward, our weight stays too far behind the golf ball. I use the analogy of your right shoulder being too far behind the golf ball. Leading edge starts to work up. Then what's going to happen is we're not going to have a great deal of success when using that movement. So what I want you to do is I want you to visualise, okay, where's the golf ball need to be located. A good analogy to use, if you look at the middle of my sternum, so the zip on my jacket all the way through the middle of my pelvis, I want the golf ball pretty much to sit in the middle of my stance. That's a baseline to start off with. But the only dynamics that change from address to impact, when you set up to the golf ball, when we hit an iron shot, most of our body weight should be on our left side at impact. My address position, and then that's my impact position, so my hands are slightly more ahead compared to the club head. And we want to hit most iron shots with our hands a little bit more ahead compared to the club head, because the moment I start pushing the handle back the way, then we're going to add a lot of loft, and you can see from there I'm going to struggle to generate a lot of consistency. So the idea is we want to feel a little bit more the ball's located in the middle of our stance, our hands are a little bit more ahead, and what we're going to feel like, we're almost trying to feel like we're hitting a punch shot. So the easiest way to explain that, ball in the middle of our stance, feet kind of shoulder width apart. We're going to go from our address position into impact, weights on my left foot, hands are ahead, so the top of this club is pointing a little bit more towards my left thigh, and then on the way from there, what you're going to do is you're going to strike the golf ball first, and we're going to take a slight divot after the golf ball. So a good indication if you're striking iron shots well, you'll start to see a strike a little bit more higher in the face, because the hands are slightly more ahead. That presents more of the higher end of the club face to the golf ball. If I start helping the ball up in the air, I'm going to hit the bottom groove, and we're going to struggle to generate a lot of consistency. So simple feeling, what I want you to do, ball in the middle of my stance, just turn your left foot out slightly. That's going to help you promote a little bit more weight towards your left side. And all I want you to visualise, blade of grass 2 or 3 inches in front of the golf ball. Just feeling like the club stays a little bit lower towards the ground on the way through, for maybe 2 or 3 inches, preventing that leading edge working up. So simple feeling, ball in the middle of my stance. I want a little bit more weight towards my left foot, hips are going up, not towards the target. I'm going to feel like my hands are a little bit more ahead. So I'm going to hit a punch shot just to show you how to perform that movement, almost in this position. That's the best shot of the year so far. 3 things: ball in the middle of the stance if you're struggling with your iron shots, don't have it too far forward. Driver, create a little bit more of a steeper angle attack when hitting an iron shot. Ball in the middle, weight a little bit more left, and then just, it's almost a feeling, a great drill to use. If you put your club head against the skirting board in the house or a mat, what you're trying to do from there is your hands have to feel like they're a little bit more ahead, so you're trying to get the grooves of the club to point a little bit more down towards the ground at impact. That's going to help us create a little bit less loft at impact, so that's a dynamic loft. We're going to help us create a little bit more of a penetrated, lower flighted iron shot. Hope that makes sense. Any questions regarding that, let me know. Have a great Christmas and a great New Year. If you are interested in golf lessons here at Glenbervie Golf Club, please get in touch. We've got a series of packages in place at the moment. Interested, get in touch and we'll transform your game hopefully in the next few months.